Well, welcome to our first in-person Intersections interview. I am here at the house of Jo, or Jolena, sorry,
Yes.
who I know as Mojo JoJo from the local roller derby league. And Jo has agreed to being interviewed today, and so say hi, Jo.
Hi.
And we'll just kind of jump right in.
Cool.
All right. So you identify as a lesbian.
Mm-hmm.
What's that mean to you?
To me, that means I love women, and I love them on all levels, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and sexually.
Okay. And now you identify as female, but you said your gender expression is lesbian because that's what defines your femininity.
Yeah,
So-
I'm not getting those things confused, gender and sexuality, and I was trying to make that clear in the questionnaire. But when I go to the closet in the morning and I'm getting dressed, sometimes I think that I want to look really gay when I come out, so that it's very obvious what my sexuality is when I'm out in public.
Okay.
So like whether or not that's a jacket with the sleeves cut off, like a vest or a flannel or some black boots. Normal clothes, I guess, but I just kind of want to express myself in a way that's very obvious that I'm gay.
So when people look at you, they're like, that's a lesbian.
Yeah, and it's
Okay.
not so much like what I'm wearing, I guess, is how I'm wearing it.
Okay,
You know?
that makes sense. Okay. And now you've been together with your girlfriend for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
You're currently romantically and sexually monogamous, but you both indicated when you answered your surveys that your polyamorous would be your ideal sexual relationship. So,
This whole polyamory thing that me and my girlfriend agreed on separately on the questionnaire, we didn't know anything about that before doing this. And we both chose romantically monogamous, which is sort of like, I guess it's not really that problematic, except that we're fearful that what if one of us falls in love with someone else, or we fall out of love, or that, I don't know, like, just something happens. We want to make sure that we're stable enough to handle that situation. So I think it's worth exploring, but I think that the fear is sort of a product of our heteronormative culture, because we're told to like one person and love them forever after marriage, and that person's supposed to be the opposite sex too, so we're already screwing that up. And then, you know, I just feel like the fear isn't really legitimate, because I think that we're full of love and it's bountiful and we're capable of loving more people. So I think it's something that's worth exploring in the future, and even sort of as like a more queering of our relationship, because we're already really queer. 2 women, age gap, and I think it's amazing. Like, I think it'd be super cool to be with her and be able to traverse that sort of relationship effortlessly, because I'm so comfortable with her, you know, and I think we are capable of that. But yeah, I don't even know if that fear is legitimate or just a product of the culture we've grown up in.
right.
So
It can get complex in your mind sometimes, I know, because
yeah, it is. I don't know
and it's just learning what you
try. I guess.
learning what works.
I know, and there's not enough examples in popular culture to really go off of.
Right. Yeah.
Not anything successful that I've seen. I know there's been like real life MTV shows where there's polyamorous couples and they're just crazy and they can't get along, and
Right.
it just doesn't work out.
Yeah, you actually talked about that. That was actually on my next thing, I think. Yeah.
Did you find that? Because that's seriously the only polyamorous thing I've ever seen on TV.
Yeah. No, I didn't find that, but no, I found what you had said on your questionnaire.
Oh.
You said the unique experiences you two have had that you haven't been able to share with women in other shorter relationships. And then you also said, and I'm just going to quote what you said because it was put perfectly, the one thing that gets me about monogamy, with the preference of an ideally polyamorous relationship, is that we do not at the moment know how to traverse becoming romantically involved with a sexual partner while staying monogamous with each other. That's a boundary we've never explored as of yet, and maybe in the future there will be more models to go off of in popular culture and representation in the media. So that's kind of...
It's pretty much, yeah, what I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel like my relationship is queer enough as it is, and I say queer as in non-normative because of our age difference.
Mm-hmm.
So queering it that much more is great to me. I think that's kind of another step to take, honestly, because I like that challenge.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Now, obviously, when you were born, you didn't know you were a lesbian.
No.
Or any of this other stuff about yourself. So can you kind of just tell me kind of your journey to get to where you have these identities and how you're expressing them now?
Yes. So I didn't know about lesbians until I was 11. And I grew up in Indiana, in Auburn, Indiana. It was very Christian, Republican, conservative neighborhood place that I grew up. I went to church, I went to a Christian school up until the 5th grade. And then I guess I did homeschooling, and then I was supposed to transfer to a public school. And during that time, I felt called by God to go to New Orleans to help the Hurricane Katrina victims.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on this mission trip to go mud and gut houses, and there were 3 teachers who were going to be there, who were they're teachers in the new public school I was going to go to. And then there were 3 boys who were also going to be at that school who went on this trip. Mm-hmm. And during this trip, it was seriously one of the best experiences of my life. But at that time, I don't know what happened, but puberty hit, and I just was sexually attracted to one of the teachers. Surprise. And I knew it was lust, but I didn't know that it was gay, and I didn't know that was something that was wrong in the lesbian or in the Christian community. So anyway, yeah, I've never really told anyone my coming out story either, so.
Oh, that's cool. I'm glad I get a chance to help with that.
I know, I'd rather do it in one spiel on the internet than have to tell groups over and over and over again. So anyway, yeah, so I was checking out this lady, and that same day those boys asked me if I wanted to go out with them, and I said no. And then they later approached me and were like, well, if you don't go out with us, we're going to call you a lesbian with that lady over there. And that lady was the same one I was checking out earlier. And I was like, what? And then I was like, what's a lesbian? And they're like, oh, what? You don't know what a lesbian is? It means you like women. And I didn't choose any of them, and they called me a lesbian. So ever since then, yeah, it's a weird story. That's what happened. And basically I was in denial up until I was 17 or 18. So throughout that time I was really hateful towards myself because I was still really, really Christian. And I found out it was a sin, and I was just upset with myself. And I don't know if you've experienced that. Maybe you have.
On a different kind of level, but yeah.
Yeah. It was weird because it brought me out of Christianity too, because the more I fell in love with women, the more I realized the Bible didn't really mention women at all, or rarely at all, and that was the first clue towards me being skeptical, I guess, about what was in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess it affected me in a lot of bad ways. And Christianity is not for everyone, I think, but I know it works for some people. It's just where I was from, it was just sort of judgmental, I'd say. We judge people. If you were thinking certain things, certain thought processes were not acceptable. Don't lust. Don't think about your gender that way. That's not acceptable. So, yeah.
Very cool. So that's the story.
Pretty much. I think I was 17 or 18 when I finally came out. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Now, I've got a list, and from what I understand, you know the list. So
Yes.
I'm going to let you go through all of them.
Okay.
And basically it's about how your sexuality, your gender, your relationship orientation have affected you socially, legally, medically, professionally, spiritually, in your family, and that's whatever definition of families you have,
Okay.
and any other areas that you'd want to talk about in that.
All right. So what was the first one again?
Socially.
Socially. I guess socially, I feel like I have to come out a lot everywhere I go because people are always assuming that you're straight pretty much wherever you go. I try to make it very clear with my representation, like I said, trying to act and look gay is the best option for me. I feel like it's honest and people don't ask because they already know. But in a professional situation where I'm sort of, I feel like I have to dress a certain way, dress nice. Sometimes I'll put on these flowery things. It's not like I don't feel comfortable in those clothes. It's just that I don't feel like people recognize that I'm gay, and I want that to be clear so that it's not like, I don't know, the elephant in the room or something. Right. I want it to be obvious. I guess I came out to my mom, if we're going to talk about family. I came out to my mom first, and she was really accepting. She wasn't really surprised either, and that usually is how mothers react. They're like, oh, of course, what, I can't believe you waited so long. But yeah, she was fine with it, didn't care. It was like one check off her list of kids who don't have to get pregnant in the future. One thing she doesn't have to worry about. My twin brother was actually kind of surprised, but I don't know why he was surprised. He should have known. And my little brother and my sister, they didn't care. And then my grandma actually loves my girlfriend. That's my grandma on my mother's side. My grandma is the matriarch, and she loves me and my girlfriend, so that's all that really matters. And then my father doesn't care either, but don't care what he thinks either. Let's see, what was the other one?
Legally?
Legally, I guess I worry about getting hired and then fired because I'm gay, because that's legal in Ohio and Indiana. So that's one of the things I've worried about in the past. And I'm also, I guess, I'm going into business school, so I'm worried about, I guess, not being able to present myself the way I want in a business setting. I'm still worried about that. And I guess that's not so much legal as much as, well, I guess I do have to hide it, you know. In some places it's somehow appropriate to hide it because I'm afraid I'm going to get fired or not hired, or people aren't going to take me seriously. And then I was thinking about where I travel. I want to see the world, but there aren't places I can go. Like, there's just not safe places I can go because I could get jailed, like Uganda, for instance. And I wanted to do the Peace Corps for a long time, and apparently they just send you to countries without really, you know, they might check into that and your preferred place to go, but they have no say over what happens to you once you get there. Like, if you get in a situation where you have to go to prison, they're not going to bail you out. So I bailed on the Peace Corps. But, yeah. Hey, cat.
We have a guest. Medically, I mean?
Medically, I think being a lesbian is the best thing ever because, again, I don't get pregnant. I don't have to worry about contraception. And, you know, there hasn't really been a lot of confusion at the doctor's office. There's that occasional, like, wait, what? You don't use condoms? You don't do what? You don't use contraception? Are you pregnant? Is there any chance you could be pregnant? No, there isn't. This is great. So, in terms of, like, I guess sex, I only have to worry about certain STDs and just be careful. So, yeah.
Professionally, you talked a little bit about it with the business thing, but any other?
No, I think that was good of the professionalism.
Okay.
I am a professional artist, sort of, not really yet. But I think being an artist gives me a lot of leeway to wear and act however I want.
It's true.
And it's a good place for queer people, and that's why you see so many of them. And I think they're more expressive in that community.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's true. How about spiritually? I know you talked some.
Yeah. So I guess with my spirituality, I used to be a Christian, and then I came out of that when I was like 18. I just felt like it was too geared towards men, inconsistent. There were parts of the Bible where it's like, kill the gays. And that's in like Leviticus. And you've read that one, right? But people are always like, oh, the man's not supposed to lie with the man, but if you read the rest of the verse, you're supposed to kill him too. And it also says, thou shalt not kill. So those sort of...
Or wear blended fabrics, but...
Exactly. Blended fabrics, for reals. I'm wearing them right now. I'm such a sinner. But, you know, I just felt like that never... I did believe it for a long time. It's very... This is the Bible. Strict interpretation of the Bible. So I stopped believing in that. But yeah, I love evolution, I love atheism, and I feel at home with atheism, so yeah.
Interesting. Any other areas of your life that's been affected? Or just anything else in general you want to talk about or share or anything?
I don't know, roller derby maybe? Roller derby. When I joined roller derby, I met my girlfriend, and I also became more confident in my own body. Like, body hair was super cool on our team, and then I was like, oh, who cares? This is great. This is liberating. I'm just going to grow body hair. This is awesome. So I did that, and that was cool. And then wearing skirts. I started wearing skirts and fishnets because of roller derby. But I myself feel queer in a skirt because it's against my own gender expression. Because for me, wearing a skirt is like super weird. Okay. So I feel queer when I wear it, even though it's totally normative for a woman to be wearing a skirt. But yeah.
Interesting.
Okay. That's pretty neat.
That is cool. Hey, this is Mike. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see some more videos, we'll be getting them out onto our YouTube channel, and you can also check them out on the Facebook page and our website, intersections.info. If you'd like to be interviewed, there's a link below that'll show you how to go through the process and get in touch with us so we can interview you. If you'd like to help support us financially, we do have a Patreon campaign set up. If you contribute monthly at the bronze level or higher, we'll give you early access to all the videos about 24 hours before everybody else gets to see them, plus some private chats and things like that that are available. So check that out. And if you'd like to just make a one-time contribution, we do have a GoFundMe campaign that's out there to try to get some better equipment, things like that. So check us out and let us know what you think in the comments, and appreciate it. Thanks.